Today, I'm going to show you how to use popular coffee equipment to brew loose leaf tea effectively and superbly. Coffee lovers, it's time for tea. So here I have 3 pieces of popular coffee equipment that I'm going to show you how to brew loose leaf tea effectively. We first have the French press. This is the most common and popular way of brewing a freshly ground coffee most people would have in our cupboards. This is the smallest one by Bodum. The second is the Aeropress. So keen coffee lovers and baristas have told me that they're able to make a rich, smooth and full-bodied coffee from this little piece of equipment here. So I'm excited to show you how it works for tea. The third one is the Immersion Switch by Hario. This will be familiar to V60 lovers, and it's also great for brewing loose leaf tea. Now, each of these equipment brews 250 mils of tea. So what I'm going to do is weigh the correct amount of tea out, and I've done 3 grams each to give it a little body. This is a beautiful Darjeeling, and I like my Darjeeling just that little bit stronger. So 3 grams per 250 ml. Now, in order to experience the best brew possible from any equipment, it's important that you adhere to these 5 rules of tea brewing. Number 1, always use good quality tea leaves. This is going to give you the best result in terms of aroma, flavor, and texture. Number 2, always use filtered water. This is going to allow your good quality tea leaves to reveal all the flavor notes and aroma notes it can possibly bring out. Number 3 is the water to tea ratio. Generally speaking, it's 1 gram to 100 mils, and you can adjust depending on your taste. Number 4 is make sure the temperature is correct depending on what tea you brew. So each type of tea requires different types of temperature, and understanding that is important to making sure you get the best result in terms of flavor. And last but not least is infusion time. Again, each type of tea requires different infusion times. Generally, green tea is a shorter steep than black teas, but understanding this is important to get the best brew. Always follow the label or check your tea brewing guide for more information. Okay, so let's get brewing. So let's begin with the humble French press. We've got our 3 grams of tea into the French press. Pour 250 mils of water. Put the top back on and don't plunge it all the way through. Just leave it at the top and allow the tea leaves to infuse in the filtered water. The French press is a good way to do this for 2 reasons. First of all, it allows the tea leaves to swim freely. Now, tea leaves need space to expand and release all its aromas into the liquor before finally, when we're ready, we'll plunge it to the bottom and then separate the leaves, but I'll show you how to do it. The best thing to do is to leave the leaves to infuse. Do not touch it until you're ready to push that plunger down and pour the tea into your cup. If the French press is not washed carefully, it may still have lingering coffee notes which can infuse to the tea and destroy its subtle nuances. So make sure that it's washed very, very carefully and there's no lingering coffee aroma. So the tea is now ready. It's been 2.5 minutes. You push the plunger down, and as you can see, it's effectively separating the leaves from the liquor, and pour it into your cup. So you should get a very clean brew without any stray leaves into your cup. Look at that beautiful color. Job done. Beautiful. The second coffee equipment, we're going to use the Aeropress. So the Aeropress has different components. It has a chamber, a plunger, a filter at the bottom. So let me show you how to use these components effectively for loose leaf tea. So let's start by removing all the components from the Aeropress. Place a paper filter over the black filter you see over here. Place it aside, then set the plunger back into the chamber. After which, we will put the weighed tea, in this case 3 grams, in this case 3 grams of Darjeeling, into the chamber and pour 95 degrees filtered water into the chamber. Then place the filter with the paper over the chamber and close. Leave your tea to steep for the desired length of time. In this case, I'm going to leave it for 2.5 minutes before I return the plunger over a teapot and begin the separation process. So the great thing about the Aeropress, similar to the French press, is that the chamber which houses the loose leaf tea and we've poured filtered water into this also allows room for the tea leaves to swim and unfurl to help release all its beautiful flavors. So now we're ready. What we're gonna do is carefully tip this over a teapot or a mug, whichever you prefer, as long as it's 250 ml and it can hold the volume of water, and then gently plunge. Look at how beautiful that is. Plunger down, and like rain, it pushes the water gently over the tea leaves, extracting all the flavor it can possibly remove, but allowing your brew to be very clean, because remember, we've placed the filter right at the bottom. So press it until you can press no more, and there you see again, you get a beautiful mahogany golden liquor. There we go. And that is how you brew tea with the Aeropress. So let's take a look. Again, a very, very clean liquor. All the notes you'd expect from a good Darjeeling. Our third and final coffee equipment for this video is the Immersion Switch by Hario. I've set this over another Hario teapot, but you can use any teapot that will fit the Immersion Switch over comfortably, making sure it doesn't topple. And it's really simple. Now, what we would need to do is to take one of these coffee filters made for the switch, open the top and place it comfortably into this chamber. We're going to put the paper filter onto the top of the chamber like this. Hold it with one hand, put your weighed out tea leaves into it, and then using a gooseneck kettle, we're going to wet the paper filter first, and then gently pour the water over the tea leaves like so. And this gentle pour just allows for an even infusion, allowing all the leaves to come into contact with the water to open up nicely. Look at that. 250 ml of water, perfect for the 3 grams of tea leaves. Allow that to infuse for the desired length of time. So it's been 2.5 minutes, so now let's gently push the switch. So by doing this, you can cleanly separate the leaves from the liquor, and again achieving a really clear, bright crystal infusion, capturing all the notes that your good tea should bring. And when you're done, set the switch onto a plate so it can catch the rest of the drippings, and enjoy your tea. Let's see. Look at that. Nice, clean, clear infusion. Cheers. So you see how easy it is to brew loose leaf tea if you're that little bit creative. And there's no excuse, coffee lovers. It's time for tea. Follow for more tea tips.